Welcome to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We're currently beside the University of Edinburgh, just south of Edinburgh's Old Town. Straight ahead is George Square Gardens. Every year this space gets re-engineered into a giant pop-up precinct loaded with Assembly's Spiegel tents, Underbelly's venue spaces and high-energy crowds. On the left you can see one of the entrances to the gardens, but we're going to bypass the gardens for now and head straight through the street food hub lining the pathway. If you need a quick rest between shows, this pathway is packed with bench seating and street food options. Passing through now, you can spot Panquake with their sweet waffles and savoury crepes, right alongside Cargo Spud, famous for giant jackets like their pulled porky with BBQ pork and crunchy slaw. Ideal for a quick recharge before racing off to your next venue. As you can see, the crowds really build up along this stretch. Saturdays at the Fringe are always buzzing. Reaching the top corner of George Square, you'll find the Assembly Room's ticket office, where you can buy tickets for shows and get helpful advice about what they offer. There's another entrance to the gardens just past the ticket office on the left, but we're going to continue straight up Charles Street. As well as navigating through the crowds, you also have to contend with flyerers, handing out flyers to shows every few paces. It can get a bit overwhelming when multiple performers approach you at once, but it's actually one of the best ways to discover hidden gems and fringe acts you'd never find in the main programme. As we keep moving through the crowds, it helps to put where we are into perspective. We're currently in Edinburgh's Southside, just south of the historic Old Town. The common thread running through this area is the University of Edinburgh, which is currently on our right. Come August, lecture halls, courtyards and student facilities across the campus are handed over to venue operators for the Fringe Festival. And just up ahead, we're about to spill out into Bristo Square. Normally a peaceful university plaza, during August it becomes the flagship hub for Underbelly, one of the Fringe's big four venue operators. The central square gets turned into a full outdoor festival village. As well as Underbelly venues, you'll also find the flagship venue of the Gilded Balloon right here at Teviot Row House, the oldest purpose-built student union building in the world, having been opened in 1889. Following a major multi-million-pound restoration, it's back, packing 9 distinct sub-venues, from grand chambers like the iconic 300-seat debating hall to cosy new black box spaces like the Den. Across comedy, theatre, magic and children's shows, over 200 productions take the stage here. The central square gets turned into a full outdoor festival village, packed with high-density picnic seating, central draft bars and a street food court featuring local spots like Mac Love, Harajuku Kitchen and Pizza Geeks. You'll find a central Underbelly box office kiosk where you can pick up tickets for shows anywhere across the city. At Bristo Square, Underbelly embeds its venues directly into historic University of Edinburgh architecture. A prominent landmark in the square is McEwen Hall, which we're approaching now. It's the university's late 19th century circular graduation hall. During the Fringe, it gets adapted into a 1,000-seat main arena, plus 6 smaller studio spaces tucked inside. Next door, the 1859 Reed Concert Hall gets converted into another key performance space called the Cow Barn. Bristo Square is one of the main hubs of the Fringe. It's a great place to meet up, grab a bite to eat or a drink at the pop-up bars, pick up your show tickets, or just relax between venues. And let's not forget the occasional street performer. Here on our right is the Pleasance Dome, occupying the Potterrow Student Centre along the eastern edge of Bristo Square. Inside, it houses a whole ecosystem of performance spaces, including the King Dome, Queen Dome, Jack Dome, and the Cabaret Bar, staging comedy, theatre, and late-night shows throughout the day. The central indoor atrium is ideal if you need to step out of the weather, featuring indoor seating, food concessions, a main draft bar, and a box office counter. It's helpful to note that there are public toilets located on the basement level. This is Potterrow Underpass. It takes us to another small hidden space where you can find some unusual venues. On the way, we're met with an endless wall of posters that showcase many competing shows, including everything from late-night stand-up comedy and intense drama to cabaret, physical theatre, spoken word, live music, and family-friendly shows. Emerging out the other side, we enter another vibrant courtyard pocket filled with food stalls and outdoor seating. While the main squares are dominated by the larger producers, this is where independent operators Hoots at Potterow set up shop. You'll spot their unique container venues and yurts that add a completely different grassroots atmosphere to this corner of the campus. We're back at Bristo Square, heading north as we make our way out and continue the tour. While we walk through the crowds, it's a great time to mention how this all began. The Fringe actually started as a bit of a rebellion back in 1947. At the time, the official Edinburgh International Festival had just been launched in the wake of the Second World War. It was established as a highly curated, prestigious, and strictly invitation-only event, focusing heavily on high art like classical music, opera, and ballet to help culturally reunite a fractured Europe. But while the spotlight was firmly on that exclusive official program, 8 independent theatre groups turned up completely uninvited. Instead of packing up and going home, they simply set up their own alternative performance spaces and put on their shows on the margins of the main event. That spontaneous, independent spirit birthed the Fringe, and it's a tradition that's still very much alive on these streets today, with independent performers putting on shows across the city, claiming their own space, just like the artists who started it all. Over here on the left is an imposing neo-Gothic former church built in 1848. Passed to Edinburgh University students in 1980, it holds the title of Britain's oldest fully student-run theatre. Inside this 90-seat black box venue, you'll catch a packed Fringe lineup featuring student drama, musicals, new writing and physical theatre, alongside late-night improv comedy. Between shows, it operates a cosy cafe bar. We've come to a bit of a crossroads here as we approach the edge of the old town. Straight ahead is the iconic Greyfriars Bobby statue, commemorating the famous little dog who spent 14 years guarding his master's grave. Off to our right sits the National Museum of Scotland, a grand, free-to-enter museum showcasing centuries of history and innovation. We'll be taking a walk through Greyfriars Kirkyard on the left in just a moment. But first, let's check out the action happening up ahead. As you explore the city, you'll inevitably spot silent disco walking tours winding through the streets. Led by high-energy guides with wireless transmitters, groups wear multi-channel headphones to sing and dance their way through public plazas and historic wines. Operators like Silent Adventures and Guru Doodoo have turned the Edinburgh Fringe into an open-air dance floor, blending flash mob choreography with sightseeing. Stepping off the street, we reach Greyfriars Kirk. Dating back to 1620, this historic church has witnessed over 4 centuries of Scottish history. But during August, it transforms into official Fringe Venue 131. Thanks to an adaptable sanctuary layout and phenomenal acoustic vaults, it plays host to a diverse array of performances, ranging from orchestral film scores and classical organ recitals to pop-rock choral adaptation shows and gospel choirs. Before stepping inside, keep in mind that interior visiting hours can change day to day during the festival to accommodate show rehearsals and ticketed performances, so it's always worth checking the schedule first. Outside, the world-famous Kirkyard stays open around the clock. It's well worth a quick wander through the gravestones.